Welcome to Educated Drinking. I'm John.
And I'm Meryl.
And today we're looking at Amaro, or Amari, like octopi.
Which would mean multiple.
Multiples. So we're going to be discussing these Amaros that are Amaris individually. And Amaro means?
Amaro means bitter.
However.
In Italian. However, we're not talking about the cocktail bitters like Angostura or Peychaud, the ones you just add a couple drops to.
Yeah.
We're talking about aperitifs and digestifs that have a bitter character to them. And so we have quite a few to go through here. But before we get started, let's talk a little bit about Amaros.
Well, again, Amaro means bitter in Italian. And it's commonly drunk as an after-drink digestive. Is thick and syrupy, high in alcohol, and has a lot of herbs and spices infused in it.
But are they all really high in alcohol?
No, not really.
They range.
They range from, it depends on how much extraction you have, how much flavor you're going to get, and the different styles, whether it's drunk before the meal or after the meal.
And what are some of the typical flavors that you get?
The base for a lot of these are either menthol or orange, and then there's different bases for the bitterness, which would be artichokes or woodworm, but they all have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of herbs and spices pounded into them. For whatever.
So more than the kernel gives you.
More than the kernel gives you,
Okay,
definitely.
yeah.
Secret herbs and spices. These are all medicines. They all started off as medicines, and they were used in the battlefield or whatever, but all medicines.
Cool. Well, let's get started. We're going to start with two Amaro that are drunk as aperitif. I'm going to start with Campari.
And these are drunk before the meal. They are syrupy, thick, and very bitter. I'm going to drink Cynar. Cynar. I'll never get that right.
No, you won't.
Cynar, which is made from artichokes. Weirdest thing. I've looked at this thing on the shelf for years and years and years and never tried it. And Meryl's going to have the Campari, which is
probably the most famous of the bitter aperitifs. And this is made with orange peel, bergamot, which is what makes Earl Grey tea, tastes like Earl Grey tea, quinine, and other herbs.
This Cynar is absolutely amazing. It has
Cynar.
This Cynar is absolutely amazing because of its bitterness. You get some of the artichoke in it. You get the caramelized cooked sugar. And the lovely orange. Lovely Cynar. What do you got?
Well, I had Campari, which a lot of people have tried before, and if you haven't, you should. Campari is typically drunk mixed with soda or orange juice. Cynar is often drunk the same way. And Campari, you definitely get that bitter orange peel, a lot of that, and that undercurrent of the quinine and the bergamot. But it's delish.
I get to try some Jägermeister. And Jägermeister is used for battlefield wounds.
It was originally created as cough medicine.
Cough medicine, yeah.
And
digestive problems.
For digestive problems, but it was used in World War II as an antiseptic for field wounds. And it also seems it's quite good at helping trap flies and wasps if you just put a little bit of it in a dish.
And frat boys.
Well, yeah, frat boys like it a lot. Because you'll see it at a lot of bars in their little cooler where they just serve it straight as shots.
Usually found next to cougars. Cougars! There you go. So I'm going to give this a shot.
And Jägermeister has a lot of licorice flavors. That's why John's going to make that face, because he doesn't like licorice flavor.
I hate licorice. I hate anise. I hate all of these things. And it's just a personal thing. And
he's a hater. You're a hater.
I'm a hater.
Yeah.
So Meryl is going to delve into...
well, actually, both John and I are going to move on to something that's actually labeled Amaro. One of the most famous... Well, actually, I think we're trying two of the most famous digestives that are labeled as Amaro. We have Nocino, which I'm going to be trying.
And Averna.
I said Nocino. I meant Nonino. Nocino is a black walnut liqueur. Nonino.
Obviously, these are all very high in alcohol.
Yeah, sorry. This isn't the first run.
Mine is a classic. I often have this with sparkling water and or in an espresso. It's absolutely amazing. It tastes like Coca-Cola syrup.
And this one is just wonderful by itself. It does taste nice with some soda water in it, but I enjoy it just by itself because it's more delicate than the Averna. This is probably in the moderate bitter category. This is in the lighter bitter category. This one's much more orange driven, and this one has more kind of a nutty, spicy character to it.
And they are all thickly sweet and syrupy. So bitterness is relative in what you can take in bitterness. You're not going to pucker up with these things. It's a perfect balance between bitter and. I think Meryl's enjoying something.
It's good.
What's it taste like?
Something too special for you.
Too special for me. Okay. Yeah. I am now going to move on to my evil friend, Fernet.
And you can learn a lot about Fernet.
In our Fernet tasting gone wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. I'm just going to do the shot and be done with it. Fernet, again, is made with a ton of botanicals and flavorings and spices and medicinal for stomach aches. Here we go. I'm going to enjoy my Fernet.
And while John's trying the Fernet, I am going to taste the Amaro from Torani. And this is made to replace Amaro Picon, which does still exist. And it's made in France, and it's not sold in the United States, so Torani came along and made the product here in the United States. It's very, very orangey.
Yeah, like an orange Curacao with some caramelization
and bitterness on the finish.
A little bitterness.
And it's typically used in pecan punch or with beer. Unlike the other Amaros that we've tried, it's not drunk by itself, and because the orange flavor just is so powerful on this.
All of these are great for before a meal or after a meal. The more bitter, syrupy ones before the meal gets your appetite ready as an aperitif before the meal, and the other ones with its bitterness and herbal qualities help you digest. So they call it digestif.
Yes. And while we do have several on the table here, there are other famous ones that we are not talking about today. One of which that I like a lot is Bekarovka.
Don't even bother saying it.
It's from the Czech Republic, and the predominant flavors, one of the predominant flavors is cinnamon, which I like a lot.
Interesting.
It's definitely something you drink straight by itself. It's an acquired taste, and I like it. John doesn't like it at all.
The Alverna's hitting. No. The Fernet is hitting.
Okay. And then another, and one that's more similar to Campari would be Aperol.
Not commonly seen. You normally see Campari around.
Yeah, but Aperol is now in the American market and is becoming more common. It's only 11% alcohol, and it is sweeter than Campari, but it looks a lot like it, and it has some similar flavors to it, but it's not quite similar, though it's often used in a lot of the same cocktails. And then the big one we left out today was vermouth, which we will be talking about in a whole separate episode because it deserves a whole separate episode of itself. And it is a bittering agent.
It is not just for cooking and mixing. You'll be really amazed. Wait and see.
Definitely
Tune in and see.
Definitely check out the vermouth.
So thank you very much for coming. Hope you'd enjoy this episode on Amaro. Come on, sing it with me. Amaro. That's too bad. We're not going to quit our day jobs. Cheers. Thank you very much for coming. Educated Drinking. John and Meryl. Cheers.